welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for another round of comic chat. And today we're going to get into it with Batman vs. Robin issue 5, the actual ending of this book. So we thought it ended with issue 4, but no. So for those of you that don't remember, this story starts off with Damian getting possessed by the demon devil Nesha, and really that was picking up from Mark Waid's other story, World's Finest, which is actually a really good story, a really good book. And so he took possession of Damian. There was a whole story with Alfred and Batman reflecting on himself and the impact he's had on all these people. Where'd he go wrong with Damian? Where'd he went wrong with Jason or Dick or Tim, Steph, boop boop a doop. And then he found out about this bigger plot going on by the devil Nesha, using all of this to gather all this magical power, magical items, to go into the Helmet of Fate so he can take down his son, King Fireball. It's this whole sort of story about how the devil Nash is just really afraid of his son taking over and being stronger than him, so he has to kill him, and really has no bearing on Bruce at all. Like, he doesn't really care if his sons at some point become better than him. Like, he had freely admits, hey, Tim will be a better detective than me. He just will be. And he's all right with that, because he's going to help him become the best he can be. And he wants to help Damian be the best he can be. That's it. But yeah, so that didn't really work. But anyway. After that whole thing and that shebang little story, that led to this event here called Lazarus Planet, which was the other big event that came out, along with, I can't believe I get to do this again, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. And this whole, 5 issues? 5 one-shot anthologies. There's pretty much each story had like a bunch of different stories going in, how we all deal with this whole magical Lazarus explosion happening, and a lot of it's not going to matter. What Mercy Graves' story probably is never going to come back again. Power Girl's telepathy will try to happen. Red Canary, they're trying with Red Canary, but I doubt anything will come from her. It'll be nice to see some things like Firestorm is going to have a thing going on. There's some other stuff with in addition to Firestorm. Cassandra Cain has her own like little story stuck in the spirit world. There's another character coming in, so I doubt a lot of it'll matter. But it is what it is. Ultimately, the story ended with Black Alice transferring all that magic back, and Batman still being possessed by Nesha. Yeah, so he died. What little Lazarus was there kept him going, but Nesha took over, and this is pretty much where we are now. So what happens here is Damon finding out that, his dad's possessed by Nesha. He's able to get away, and I think where the story's lacking is a lot of Damian internal dialogue. While there's a lot of it, I don't think it matches up to what was going on before. The ending of the story really does sort of ruin the entire story, I think. But a lot of stuff does come up as to exactly where we stand here. For example, Talia tells him that, hey, Nesha possessing his dad is all that's keeping him alive. Like, once he leaves, Bruce will die. There's nothing else left of him. There's probably like a little bit left of actual Bruce in that body, but it won't last if he leaves. And then the Monkey Prince comes in and says, hey, the longer Nesha stays in that body, the stronger he's going to get. So the only option is to kill him. And Damian sort of tries to fool, like, yeah, fine, I'll do what needs to be done. We all kind of know he's not, but he does sort of the opposite that, well, he pretty much does of his own plan that he used when he was possessed by Nesha, i.e. sending the Bat Family to attack Bruce. The problem is, this isn't Bruce. Like, going through that emotional gauntlet, I think, would have worked. But I think the problem is, these characters aren't doing the inverse. So imagine if for that story where Batman is sort of facing with all of his personal issues, whereas he faces all these other members of the Bat Family, and they sort of lay some grievances they may or may not have had, and Bruce is forced to sort of reflect on those. Would be interesting if sort of had the opposite, where you saw them all try to reach Bruce by pointing out, hey, you were, like, pointing out how great of an impact he's had on their lives. That, Batman didn't ruin any lives. He actually made them all better. And if Jason says that, that's great. I think that would be nice if we actually saw the Bat Family sort of be a bit more grateful to Bruce. I think that's been a direction that I think has been lacking in DC for a bit. But, that's my opinion. Whatever. So this sort of ends. Damon does Taju Kagebushin no Jutsu, courtesy of the Monkey Prince, and goes after Nesha. He really just sort of lay into exactly what's been going on. Hey, all the stuff you did, all the stuff you did to Black Alice and all the magic users and what you did to my father, what he turned him into by possessing Damien and having him turn against his dad in a way that he never would before. Yeah, that's there. And with the help of the magic people, and I forget what the pig's name is. I'm calling him Hampton. I think I called him something else before, but Hampton. It was Lord Bacon before. Lord Bacon comes in, and they take Nesha out, put him in his own body, and they're able to seal him away. And Damien's like, okay, now take my life energy and put it into my dad. And Sharon's like, so, yeah, it's not gonna work. So, if we take it, you'll die. He won't want that. So if we took like a little, wouldn't be enough. It'd have to be a lot. And maybe, and I can have you sort of agree to, speak for your unconscious friends here. They'll do. That still won't be enough. We'll need a lot of a little from everybody. And we don't know who Dame is. Like, fine, I'll put out a call. All right, you thought we were doing anime before? No. Remember the Boo Saga, kids? When Hercule and Vegeta talked to the universe and the world to get them to everyone, give you your, share your energy? So, yeah. Damien makes an appeal like, hey, I know Batman's been there for all of you, but right now he needs us. He needs you to give him just a little bit. So what you do is you raise your hands in the air and give your energy, saying, we are Batman. We are Batman. We are Legion. We are Marshall. Go on. Spirit bomb. And yeah, he's back. They hug, and the story ultimately comes to an end. This kind of ruined the story. It really did. I think... But at the same time, this is sort of the culmination, if you think about it. This is sort of like the end result of where everything's been between Bruce and Damien since Bane killed Alfred. Alright, Damien's been blaming himself the whole time, and Bruce has been blaming himself the whole time. But I don't think they ever really came together over that. They're just sort of angry with each other for one reason or another. Like, Damien quit being Robin. He's been going rogue. He went on a whole little story where he joined a martial arts tournament, and he had a girlfriend, and like his dad, he found a woman that'll kill him. And apparently that's his kink. And, yeah, like, if you look at it from that bigger story, this is actually kind of lackluster because there's no real reconciliation on both sides. But I think, really... DC's had the Bat family sort of reconcile with Alfred's death multiple times. Like, he had a eulogy issue, and they all sort of remembered Alfred fondly, their best moments with him, and that really should have done it, but now we're doing it again because, hey, Bruce and Damien still haven't really put it behind him, which, to be fair, the story has Alfred, or a version of Alfred, tell him, like, hey, you've been blaming yourself for this, and I won't have it. Don't disrespect my memory by blaming yourself for this. I knew the risk, and I'd do it again. So, there's that. That's cool. But this ending feels so lackluster. I think what would have been interesting is if Damien assessed the members of the Bat family and saw, like, how much better they are because of Bruce. And, like, I would like to say that, Todd would have been who he is without Bruce, but really, the kind of kid he would have been without Bruce would probably have been so much worse. Same with Dick, same with Babs, same with Tim, same with Steph. Sort of give that appreciation to the character. But I don't think... that wasn't on the itinerary. I don't know. Overall, this was a weak ending. But then again, most of this Lazarus Planet tie-in stuff was sort of lackluster too. Like, could this have been better? Again, I don't think there's a way to properly redo this, because I think if you made it bigger, then you sort of overshadow Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is still an event I want to, like, redo the past couple of stories of DC and sort of re-summarize it. And I think we'd have had a much better, more thematic story. But this one here, maybe. But ultimately, I think everything is good until we get to the end of issue 4, and we see a bunch of stuff that we aren't really incentivized to think has any real impact. There's been some small status quo changes, but nothing with any real meat to it. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to something we will enjoy, which is Stargirl and the Lost Children, because this book has never let me down so far. So, except with reaching... I found my new arch enemy. Alright? I found my new arch enemy. If I ever make a DC OC character, which I've thought about, I've got one in the works, because I'm a child. Corky is going to be my enemy. All right, I hate this kid. So it's like, hey, I'm future Time Master in training. He's like a more obnoxious version of Adric from Doctor Who. And if you know Adric in Doctor Who, you'd have to go, that is not possible. But anyway, Corky sort of explains to him what's going on, namely the fact that this is kind of, sort of, but entirely Batman's fault. So Batman took the Flashpoint universe, which was stuck in a snow globe, because it was supposed to be just an alternate timeline that was going to, like, dissipate in time, but Bruce didn't. He used a device to do it. And ultimately what happened was, well, all these it created distortions in time, and the Time Masters had actually pulled them out of their time to put them somewhere, to put them back in their time later, but someone else got in the way and has pulled them out of time. Or pulled them out to this island. This island which time does not move on this island. So if, on the plus side, when they return, it'll be like nothing ever happened. So that's good. That's good. Luckily, Quiz Kid, aka Mr. Terrific Sidekick, is able to sort of get the gist of it. But Corky points out that whoever is involved is coming to take all of them. So they have a very small window of opportunity to take the Childminder down before it's too late. So they're like, okay, so we're going to storm the keep. And then we cut to Judy Garrick, and sort of like this sort of cosmic and the time portal thing that's being powered through Judy Garrick. And it's sort of a bit more tragic because whenever this happens, Judy gets to really remember the time she spent with her dad. And it's still really heart-wrenching to me to think that Jay Garrick does not remember he has a daughter. All right? That he has this beautiful little girl who was clearly not only his daughter, but his son, aka they were an amazing dynamic duo. Just look at him, it's great. They're like, hey, these bullets really are slow, Dad. I'm like, normal dads don't get to say that, and I love it. But yeah, so the Childminder's plan comes in at the same time. Everyone's like, okay, it's time to go. We gotta roll. The dude's here. We gotta go. So they storm the Bastille, so to speak. And once again, this book has really great full pages or splash pages. I love it. Charging in. Stargirl, you could argue the last sidekick, kind of, sort of, but not really. Or sort of the sidekick that got to be the main hero for her team is now teaming with all these other sidekicks. And they're all so cool. I wouldn't mind another series with just these sidekicks through the ages. Would be great. So they go in and they fight their way through. It's all really cool. Courtney really wants to tell Wing his future, what's going to happen to him and the Seven Soldiers, but Courtney's like, there's certain things we just can't mess with. All right. In other words, Wing is going to have to face his own fate at the end of this, which is actually weird because Wing actually lives outside of this. He didn't get in trouble until he came to this island. So who knows? But anyway, they get down there and they find out who the buyer is, and it is Our Man. So I had to take a moment to figure out which Our Man this is because there are 3 Our Men. So I believe this is the 3rd Our Man, Matthew Tyler, who is from the 40th century? This is going to keep me up all night. He's from one of those far-off centuries. And he's a time traveler. So, sort of get from that one, the Whirligog is what he used to do it. So, I think he's the one doing this. Question is why? What's he gaining from this? Is he taking all these sidekicks from the different times to the future? How does this tie into the JSA book? Dr. Fate plays a role in this somehow. So, we'll see. Ultimately, though, still fun. I didn't think Our Man because for a while I thought, not my boy. Not my boy from the Jeff Johns JSA era. The cool one who married Jesse Quick. Oh, but no, it's not that. Thank heavens. I'd feel really bad otherwise. But yeah, otherwise this was a really, really fun story, really exploration of the mystery of the JSA, the lost generation of sidekicks. And the microphone has been so far away. I hope this is still being able to be heard. So anyway, with that in mind, this brings me to close here. If you are new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.